Today I'm taking a look at the perfect LEGO Star Wars minifigures.
First, I'll start off with some honorable mentions that did make the list but currently are not in my collection, and honestly, I probably will never get any of these. One has not released yet, but it is officially revealed, being the Boba Fett from the Boba Fett buildable figure, releasing August 1st. Honestly, nothing I would really change with that figure. Perfect figure for Return of the Jedi. Also, Bo-Katan from 2024, which is trying to get in my collection. It released in the Spider Tank of the same year, 2024, and it is still exclusive to that set, which kind of sucks, but that is definitely an amazing figure. Maybe one change would be the antenna, but it's not really Bo-Katan's fault because the antenna piece didn't really release at that time, but I still feel like that figure is so perfect, and the antenna is really the only difference I would make, so I still feel like it should have a spot on the list. Also, a leaked figure, which is not even officially out yet, so it could also not really exist, but most likely will because we do have the official image, and it is this boss. It actually got leaked today, at least the day of recording it, and it will come in the Executor, which is the next UCS set this October. Amazing figure art with the leg printing, the toe prints look amazing. Maybe if there was one thing, I'd add maybe arm printing instead of doing molded arms to add like those lines of his sleeves, but honestly, it's perfectly fine. Maybe like a black collar piece, like molded piece would make it look a little better, but honestly, amazing figure overall. So here are my 7 perfect figures that I own. I'll be breaking them down a little bit more, but first I do want to mention some honorable mentions. The first and only honorable mention will be this Din Djarin from the UCS Razor Crest Mandalorian. He looks absolutely amazing. I think is my favorite figure in all my collection. The only difference I would make with this figure is adding that footprint because, as you can see, the new Din Djarin does have that footprint, and it kind of sucks, but besides that, it is actually an amazing figure, and it's such a small detail here that I feel like I definitely have to at least give it an honorable mention. The newer one in the August Wave Sandcrawler, definitely will be picking that up sometime, but it's sort of a muddy variant, so I don't know if I'd count that as sort of one of like the base figures, I guess, of a perfect figure, but definitely a very, very nice one to give an honorable mention, and some people might even just throw it in the actual perfect figures, but personally, in my opinion, it is so close that I might as well do that. So the first figure I will talk about is Grogu. This is the newer one that came in some of the August sets for the May sets for Mando and Grogu movie. This one is honestly quite literally perfect. It definitely represents like Grogu being a little bit older. I think I like it a little bit better in the newer mold here than the older mold, which I feel like they just tried to make it as cheap as possible just to get as many Grogus out there as they can. This one doesn't have the chest print, but I mean, both of them could be perfect figures. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be this Grogu, just because you can use it for basically anything. You can use it for the Mando Grogu movie, like certain scenes, but also you could use it for like season 1 and 2 and other seasons if you're recreating in different sets and mocks. One thing I don't like is how the pram looks like in the next time that we're going to see this Grogu being in the sand crawler. I feel like that's just the Lego designers being bad at designing prams, which they kind of just are. Besides the UCS Razor Crest, all the prams are kind of horrible for this figure, but it is definitely an amazing one. I love all the detail here, and one thing I do like is they keep that nice molded rubber head, so Grogu is going to be number 1 on this list. So the first real minifigure on the list is Darth Vader, who I think is one of the most perfect figures on this list, of course being a perfect minifigure. Arm printing, leg printing, absolutely amazing, and I'm so nice that they have like a definitive Darth Vader version of this figure. Looks amazing. I even like how they have a little bit more like stronger fabric for the cape rather than the softer Jedi cape. Also, I love the split of the helmet as well as the face print here. It just looks absolutely amazing. The mold, everything, it's just so crazy, and they perfected the figure so much that they literally made like a gingerbread version in 2025, which was absolutely amazing. But of course, this base figure is going to be perfect. Absolutely amazing, simple and still beautiful, just great figure all around. Literally absolutely no improvements whatsoever. The next perfect figure is going to be Pilot Luke Skywalker, who came in the UCS X-Wing. I didn't end up getting the UCS X-Wing. I just purchased the keychain and swapped out the beautiful printed arms as well as printed and dual molded legs, which look absolutely amazing. Every time I look at this figure, it just, honestly, I cannot name anything about this figure that would really improve, except maybe the helmet. I'd rather have that physical piece, not like the X-Wing version where it had the same sort of helmet with a physical visor. I definitely didn't like that version. It's more of the one in the Resistance A-Wing where it actually perfected it and didn't look really, really goofy and actually had a perfect physical visor, which I think I would like a little bit more, but I'm at the end of the day, I feel like I'd rather go for the more simple version, and obviously this figure was after the one in the A-Wing, so I feel like Lego just went back and just went to their simple roots with the pilot figures, which honestly I'm fine with. I feel like they're doing a little too much maybe with the physical version of the visor, unless they really, really perfect it, but honestly it's not really needed to because this figure is great all around. The next perfect figure is C-3PO, who I believe came in two sets. Specifically is the dual molded leg version. Sadly, this isn't the most recent C-3PO we've gotten, which absolutely sucks because I think this is a perfect C-3PO figure. Arm printing looks amazing. Leg printing looks amazing. That one dual molded leg is absolutely perfect. All I did is get a C-3PO figure and then as well buy a keychain just like I did with the Luke to swap out the leg and honestly make a perfect figure. I like how they did the molded head and of course the regular minifig body. I just love how they did the George, specifically C-3PO. It just looks absolutely amazing. All the printing here, like the exposed wires, everything. And I think this is definitely the best version of C-3PO, to simply put it. Absolutely amazing. And when I looked at C-3PO for the first time without the dual molded leg and the dual molded leg didn't release, I honestly thought it was a perfect C-3PO, but when they released the dual molded leg, it just looked even better and definitely is a perfect one. No reason to ever improve this figure. Definitely another perfect one to the list. The next perfect figure is the 2025 Obi-Wan, who came in the V19 Torrent. He's exclusive to that set, and he looks honestly amazing. Love the arm printing on this figure. Looks very, very good overall. And honestly, I don't think he needs dual molded legs. I like the sort of robe feel, so it's just sort of like an overlay of the actual like under clone armor of it. And absolutely amazing face print. Hair is, of course, his normal Obi-Wan hair for this time era, and then he does have a angry face here as well as a calm face. Looking pretty nice. I mean, there's nothing really to improve here. It's an amazing figure, definitely a nice one that we got last year. One of my favorites overall. The next perfect figure is going to be the 2026 Din Djarin. He looks honestly amazing. They've definitely upgraded him a lot over time. He's been going through so many different versions. And honestly, this one leaves no room for improvement here. Toe printing and hip printing definitely make this figure absolutely amazing with the new Mando and Grogu wave in 2026. Arm printing, everything just looks absolutely amazing. One thing I would change is if they would add a cape with the jetpack. I don't know why they did that or aren't doing that. They've never done that for a Lego figure. And even in the Lego games, if you try to like customize it, having a cape and a jetpack, you can't, even though it works perfectly fine. I don't know why Lego doesn't do that. They do like a jetpack and a pauldron for stuff like a Boba Fett, but not a full Mandalorian cape. I guess isn't even a full cape. This one doesn't have the face print underneath, but of course the actual figure will have that face print underneath as well as the hairpiece. And honestly, amazing figure overall. I also love that face print, which I talked about before with the UCS Ridgecrest Mandalorian. And maybe they could change the hand color to be sort of like how the Boba Fett one is in the new August wave, to have sort of like that more tannish, I guess, like nougat color for the handprint. But honestly, I feel like this sort of matches the style more, and I believe it's technically like less than 50% of the glob. I wouldn't really want them to have printed arms or printed hands, but I think it just fits the style more. It would look a little bit weirder with the more nougaty hands, even though it would be maybe a little bit more accurate. Still, amazing figure overall. Din Djarin looks absolutely amazing and definitely is a great spot to have on this list. One surprising figure on this list is going to be the 2026 Cobb Vanth. He's the only version of Cobb Vanth that we've ever gotten. I feel like Lego mastered this one pretty much. I mean, they didn't go overboard with the printing, but they still added a lot of detail here. Honestly, amazing figure overall, leg printing, arm printing, helmet, and torso printing. Looks very, very nice. And of course, we just do get to see that new visor print, like actually physical visor, and we get to see it like actually on the figure, which is absolutely incredible. The face print as well looks very, very nice. Technically, this is the one from Book of Boba Fett and not the Mandalorian. So what I found weird is the set came with Cad Bane, so would be the Book of Boba Fett version, but for some reason he has his armor, which doesn't make any sense because, of course, it gave away in the Mandalorian, so he shouldn't really have any of the armor or anything, so it doesn't really make sense in terms of the set. But honestly, I mean, $35 set, you get a really nice Cobb Vanth, the best version of Cobb Vanth. I'd rather have him with the armor than without. And Cad Bane, it's a great set, but for the actual set itself, lore-wise and stuff, it doesn't really make sense. But still, perfect figure, and Cad Bane would be on this list if he had a physical waist cape. But still, I mean, weird inclusion and stuff in the set, but still an amazing figure. Also, they even went the extra mile and gave him a new, like, pistol, which looks absolutely incredible. The final figure on this list is going to be the 2025 Clone Cadet. You do get, I believe, 3 of them in the battle pack, which became a lot easier to get, and I mean, I think was still the purchase of the UCS Jango Fett Slave 1, but it was available for a little bit longer. This figure is absolutely amazing. Arm printing looks very, very nice, and definitely unexpected for the GWP. We also got dual molded legs as well, which is just perfect, and it's such a simple figure as well, and it's just absolutely perfect. There's nothing I would do to really change it at all, and honestly, it looks amazing and is a great part of any clone army. It definitely makes it look a lot better, adds some pop of color, and I mean, great figure overall. Definitely nice to get 3 of them in that set. I mean, there's nothing much to say here. Amazing figure overall, great spot on the list. So here's a final look at all the figures in my perfect list, of course, excluding those 3 I talked about in the beginning that is not in my personal collection. Some of them I would love to include, but I just don't think can be perfect, or I would even want to be perfect. Like, basically all the troopers, like clones and stormtroopers, don't have arm printing, but if they did, they'd make it battle packs and stuff a lot more expensive, which we don't really need right now. But if they included a printed arm clone and stuff like the UCS gunship and made it exclusive, then I would definitely consider putting it on my list. But it's also kind of nice that I don't have any stormtroopers or really repetitive stuff that you should be getting in a bunch of battle packs, because I'd rather them be more simpler, so you can get them for a lot cheaper and also make them a little bit cheaper in the battle pack altogether. But that's going to do it for the rest of the video. Hope you all enjoyed. Have an amazing rest of your day, and see you all in the next one.